I locked in this week and officially battled the month back to green. I am ending the month up $55 when I had this terrible win rate. 34%, really? My day win was not good either, 40%. I used to hover around like 60-ish, which is more of a happy place for me. 40, not so happy. But on the bright side, my average win to loss was good, which is why I was able to come out green with such bad stats. My calendar is also pretty ugly. Although I have ended green the last 3 weeks in a row, so that's good. I made it out of drawdown. I am a little confused about this though, because this is saying on the 22nd I was negative 169 in drawdown. So then if I go to the 22nd here and then I add these trades the rest of the 4 days, it only gets me to $4, not the $55 that I ended the month with. So I'm not sure how that drawdown diagram works. The only difference that I did this week compared to other weeks is that I was very strict with my entry criteria and much more patient, and overall just waited for better trades. I only took 3 trades this week compared to the other weeks where I was taking between I think 7 to 9 trades a week, and I still made the most amount of money on the week taking the least amount of trades. That just goes to show you that it is not about taking more trades, it is about taking better trades. Let's pop in and look at 3 trades that I took. One was a loser and 2 of them were winners. The first trade that I took on the week was a long for a $24 loss, and it was a 2-minute, 1-minute break and retest going with the trend, and it was retesting some consolidation. So clearly, let me zoom in a little here. That's obviously a break and retest on the 2-minute. Granted, I could already say that, I was trying to catch this leg late, thinking it was going to be a day that just grinds up and up and up. Can I take off let me take off the little crosshairs. Okay, yeah, there we go. So break and retest on the 2-minute. So I'm good with that there. On the 1-minute, also good with that there. On the 5-minute, it was trending up, but it was not at the 5-minute. And I entered when this bar, was higher, and then obviously we got wicked down and wrecked on that. It was also like retesting this kind of like holdy area that I had here from where it rejected and then came. So I was fine with the trade. That trade was at 11:30. I got stopped out around 12:08, and I just called it a day after that. Second trade on the week was on Wednesday. It was a short for 47.98. I did leave a little bit of money on the table, but it was still a 1.7 R trade. It was a 2-minute, 5-minute break and retest, fair value gap, and a break and retest of previous day high. It was in the wrong position on the 1-minute, and my other issue was that I exited early. I was starting to see it kind of get bought up a little bit, and I exited it rather than just letting it hit my TP, which it would have hit my TP. The same setup I gotta look for. 2-minute break and retests. I got out somewhere around here. It also was coming into this gap here, right there. So we had 2-minute break, retest into the gap, rejection, which was also lining up with the pre-market low, 5-minute rejecting. The only issue was the 1-minute was above here. So I knew that taking the trade, but I give a little bit more emphasis to the 5-minute and the 2-minute. 3 strong confluences, which was 5-minute, 2-minute, and previous day high rejection, with, once again, look, another fair value gap on the 1-minute that it tapped into. Really good trade. Was this the day I left a bunch of money on the table? No, that's going to be the next day. It did end up just flagging up and doing one more drop right into where my TP was. However, the reason I decided to get out here is because there was a level right here that I had said, oh, I wanted to tap this. And when it taps this, I have, the right to get out if I want to. Well, it tapped that level, and my take profit was still lower because I automatically just put it in for 75 bucks, like around that level. So I had to not convince myself, but I had to remind myself, like, hey, I wanted this level to get hit. So from a technical standpoint, it hit that level. Now it's just me, being emotional and greedy and wanting more money. This isn't where on the chart it makes sense for it to go. This is where it makes sense to go. So, if it would have just blown by there, it would have been great, but it's reacting at the level that I wanted it to hit. So let me just take the W and then see what happens. So yeah, I got out. Of course, it hit right after, but it's fine. I got out based off of technicals and didn't go much lower than that after that. So that was good. Moving on to the next day. So this was a good trade. However, I left a ton of money on the table. But once again, it's fine. I'm trying to focus on not being greedy. So this was a short for 74.98. It was a 2.5R trade, and I was in it for 9 minutes. It was a fair value gap, a break and retest of previous day low, a break and retest of pre-market low, and with the trend. My mistake was an early exit. So it wasn't exactly at the moving averages for like the like a tighter color change at the averages, but all of the averages were trending down. So trending down short. Also, I was taking into account it not coming all the way back to here like this up here, because just the way that it was dropping, it was like, I don't know, if you were trading this, you have seen it. It was just selling off and selling off and selling off. So I didn't feel like it was going to get a very big pop if it had that reason to reject at the previous day low, which is, you could actually see it right here probably, like right around that level. Boop. So that was previous day low. I think pre-market was like right under it here somewhere. This is on the 2 minute. It took it out, so I went in there. It was also tapping into this gap up here. Like so. So tapped in, rejected. On the 1 minute, also see everybody's trending down here. Same thing, inversed here, and then this is what when I entered, when it inversed here again, I'm pretty sure that's what like kind of, I was a little hesitant because it was dropping so much, but that was what kind of told me to just take the trade. Same thing on the 2 minute, popped in, rejected the previous day low inside of this gap. When everything was downtrending, I at that point just had to give a little bit of trust to the previous day low break and retest, right? Like I had to give it a shot. Look at this, it just slid down all day. Would have been better if they were at it, but I still think it was a good trade, kind of reading what the market was actually doing and still having enough confluences to like warrant giving it a good attempt. The only thing I did mess up on this day was I called out this short over here, but I didn't trust it because it left these highs and I wanted it to like take them and then go lower. So I missed this short, which also would have hit my TP, so that was kind of a bummer. But, you know, other than missing that short, I was happy that I got this pretty quick in and out. And this is actually the trade that brought my month back to green. I just need to keep that same energy going into February and continue to take quality setups. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Later.